Okay, I'm going to show you how a typical song is made for the Space Quest II Remake by Infamous Adventures. Now, first off, we have the keyboard here. It doesn't have any sounds on it, it's just a MIDI controller that can hook up to a MIDI device and control the sounds on a MIDI device. It doesn't have any sounds of its own. The Roland PC200. There's a MIDI cable coming out of that, going through all this mess, down around in the back to that computer. I have two sound cards in that computer, and both of them are hooked up to a MIDI Sound Blaster cable adapter. And the one comes out of one sound card, plugs into this for the input, and then plugs into this white box called the CM500 for the output. So when I play notes on this, it goes through this wire and into the computer, and then the computer sends it back out here, and the sound comes out of this white box, CM500. The second sound card has another one that comes out and plugs into this MT32 for the output. And unfortunately, the input is not plugged in because the other keyboard is sitting over here, not being used. Although I don't really need it, so that's okay. The only reason I use it is because of the touch-sensitive keys and the foot sustain pedal, which I don't really use because I can just edit that software. Anyway, these two boxes, the MT32 and the CM500, have both audio outputs plugged into this mixer. It's a big mess, but it's a 6-channel mixer, although it only looks like 4, but as you can see it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so it is 6, so take that. Anyway, and then the output from the mixer comes out through this very long series of wires, that yellow wire down there. Not that big yellow wire, but anyway, and plugs into the sound card's line input down there, where my computer can record it as audio. Now, to control all this, recording the MIDI and everything, I use Sonar 5 Producer. And I use a multi-display because it makes it easier and I have more space. One window here I have volume controls and Gold Wave, which is what I'm recording with right now. I just record straight what Sonar plays. Sonar will record in audio and MIDI, which is why I use it, but I'm not going to be recording audio on it for this time. Now, as soon as Sonar starts up, I load the template file that I created, and it has the option to send SysEx message to the MT32, which I am going to do. Okay. And you can see down there numbers are turning, and it's sending MIDI information to the MT32 over here. Now, the great thing about the MT32 and why I use it, even though it's so old, it came out in the 80s, is because you can create your own sounds on it. Now, I haven't gotten too much into the creating my own sounds on it, but Quest Studios has a large library of SysEx instruments you can download and send to it, so I've used that to put the music on the MT32 for the music for Space Quest II. And once everything is set up, I can pick a channel here and then play it with the keyboard, and music will come out, obviously. Although not very loud. Why is it not very loud? That's a sucky instrument. Let me get a different one. Let's have a good one here. Fat Bass 5. Let's try that. Yeah. Yeah, Space Quest. Alright. Anyway, that's coming out of the MT32. You can see when I play on the keyboard, that MIDI message flashes, and it says that I'm on channel 5 because that's the one that's flashing. Anyway, that's all useless information. And I can also play, just select a different channel that outputs to the CM500 instead, and I can play the same keyboard and music will come out of that. Well, that's also a sucky instrument. Let's get a trumpet. See the white light there, or the yellow light? And that's that.
Okay, the name of the song I'm going to do here is, well, it doesn't really have a name, but it's the opening theme that plays just after the introduction and the game starts. So I've already made a bit of a backing track here of a couple of instruments. I'm going to mute one and play it later after it's finished so you can hear how it sounds. Now, first thing I do is I select the channel I want to record in, press R for record, obviously, and you see that I have it as an MT32 track. It's set to output to the MT32, and these ones that say GS are outputted to go to the CM500. So what I'm going to record is an MT32 instrument here. We'll do this one. This will be the lead instrument for our song here. Yeah, that's how it sounds. There we go. Alright, and we're gonna record. It'll take us in, and then you'll see that as soon as I start playing, it'll create a track right around here. So that, yeah, it'll create a track. Oh, I made a mistake, but that's okay, I can edit it out after. Alright, and there's our first track. Now there's a bunch of mistakes and it's kind of quiet, so we'll do some editing here. I'll just double click on the track and it'll open up in the piano roll, and here's all the notes that I recorded, and all I have to do is find the ones I messed up on. We'll play through and see if we can find it. There it is. Just delete the notes I don't want. And we'll extend this one here. See if that sounds right. Much better. Much better. I made another mistake here. I didn't like how I played it, so I'm going to change that. Right there. It shouldn't be going up there, so we'll put it down. Extend the note a bit, and we'll see how that sounds. Okay, that's not bad, but it's still a little quiet, and the notes aren't perfectly in time. So we'll select all these notes, and I'll go to quantize every 16th. And it straightens it out a bit more so it's in time. And I'll also do scale velocity. I'll do them to 127. That's the highest point a note can be to make it louder, and we'll see how that sounds.